It is very rare. It's been a long time. As a matter of fact, the first time ever that I've been on YouTube talking Detroit Lions, and we have been playing in the month in January in the postseason, which is crazy to me. The Lions hadn't been in the playoffs in 7 seasons, and I've been on YouTube talking Detroit Lions for 5. So with that being said, the season is flying past the offseason. Here it is that we're already February 19th, heading into the 20th, and on the 20th is when the franchise tag period begins. The NFL will have teams will have 2 weeks to designate the franchise tag to a player. Now, you can be franchise tagged 2 consecutive years in a row, which is busted. I hate everything about the franchise tag. I will always side with the player over the NFL after what I saw happen to Calvin Johnson. So I hate the franchise tag. It's a way for the teams to hold you hostage, keep your services, allow you to, or not allow you to go out and get a assist the other team. So we have a lot of guys that can be franchise tagged, some who can't, like Kirk Cousins, Danielle Hunter, they cannot be franchise tagged, but there are others that can be. And here are some notable franchise tag candidates starting tomorrow, which is Tuesday, the 20th of February. You have linebacker / defensive end Josh Allen, my number 1 target in free agency. Saquon Barkley, I think he's going to walk. Brian Burns, Kyle Duggar, T. Higgins, Josh Jacobs, Jalen Johnson, Justin Matabuke, Baker Mayfield, Michael Pittman, Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle. Keep an eye on this name here. And safety, Antoine Whitfield. Now, we don't need a quarterback, but we need a couple guys, man. If we look at that list, Brian Burns, Josh Allen, Kyle Duggar could be another guy too, because we don't know what's going to happen with C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Jalen Johnson, we need a cornerback. Defensive tackle, Justin Matabuke. I made a video about him. Michael Pittman, I didn't really think about him from the Indianapolis Colts. I might have to make a video about him. Christian Wilkins could be a guy that we look at as far as defensive tackle, and safety, Antoine Whitfield. Those are the biggest names that jump out to me when it comes to the Detroit Lions, because we have to ask ourselves, when it comes to C.J. Gardner-Johnson, are we going to re-sign C.J. Gardner-Johnson? That is probably the question. I think Josh Reynolds and C.J. Gardner-Johnson are probably the biggest 2 question marks. If I had to choose, I would say that one or the other. I would say that Josh Reynolds is probably the person that we would sign, but I think the Detroit Lions are going to try to bring both those guys back to keep that core kind of together. But out of this list, man, it is some names that really pop off, and these are just notable tag candidates. So there are other guys that can be tagged as well, but these are the notable guys. And as you can see, Danielle Hunter is not on this list, so he can't be tagged. Neither can Kirk Cousins. That's irrelevant in our case. But Michael Pittman might be a guy too that I have to keep an eye on and make a video about, because we do need a big body wide receiver, preferably somebody that could stretch the field. I think Josh is he's a bigger body, he's 193, so he's not over 200 pounds yet, but he's got kind of some size to him. But we could use that receiver. I don't know if Michael Pittman is over 200 pounds, but it would be nice to get a 6'4", 6'5" wide receiver, which is rare in this case. So maybe a 6'3" with maybe 210, 215, somewhere around there. Again, I don't know what Michael Pittman's measurements are, but that might be something to look into. So let me know in the comments below. We're going to be tomorrow, the franchise tag periods begins. I didn't even realize it was 2 weeks long. And then that's going to take us to the 5th. And then after a week after that is when the tampering period begins. So just like that, it's been, what has it been? 22 days since the Lions last played football. And I believe that we have just over 200 into the season returns. And that's the season. That's not including training camp and stuff like that. To me, mid-July, the end of July is when football really starts to ramp up. So let me know in the comments below, is there any notable free agent that can be tagged that you would want to get your hands on? Me, it's Josh Allen. That would be number 1. And then a guy who can't be franchise tag is Danielle Hunter. He would be number 2. And then we talked about the other day, if the Lions can get 3 for the price of 1, these guys, specifically guys who have sacks. So you got Van Ginkel, AJ Epinesa, and a Bryce Huff. Those guys combined for 22 sacks, and they would still be cheaper than Danielle Hunter. So any way that Brad Holmes legitimately helps this defensive line and this secondary, defensive line first, secondary second, I would be over the moon with that, whether it's 3 guys or 1. I mean, tell you the truth. So let me know in the comments below, notable franchise tag guys, who would you want, whether it's realistic or unrealistic. This is just part of the video making process and having fun in the comment section. Which guy would you want? Because I'm telling you, man, sometimes it doesn't always work out like that, because the franchise tag, even though it's the teams can abuse it, they can use it, and I hate it with all my heart, but they are paying a ridiculous amount of money for a 1-year rental. So like, for instance, Josh Allen, his franchise tag is going to be about $22 million. $22 million. He's still on the last year. He just finished the last year of his rookie contract. He's probably going to make about 26 or something like that. But this year he's making half of what his franchise tag is going to be, or somewhere around there. So and I don't know how the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to pull that off. Last time I checked, they had like 20-something million in cap space. They haven't restructured anybody that I know of as of yet. So that's going to be intriguing to see. But let me know in the comments below, who would you like the Lions to be able to go get that can be franchise tag? You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.